In the autumn of 1997, a 14-mile stretch of Route 66 through the Arizona desert, a ribbon of asphalt already fading into history, became the site of something inexplicable. The official closure order was brief, citing hazardous conditions, but the truth was far stranger than a washed-out bridge or a rock slide. The highway was closed not by day, but in the dead of night, and the catalyst wasn't physical decay. It was a series of frantic, eerily consistent phone calls to the local sheriff's office in Seligman. The reports always began the same way. A lone driver navigating the profound darkness between towns would find their car radio, whether tuned to a local country station or a distant rock channel, suddenly go silent. Then, without static or preamble, a new, crystal-clear signal would override all others. There was no music, just a woman's voice, speaking with calm, desperate urgency. Her message never varied. Don't stop, he's behind you. Most drivers, gripped by a primal chill, would heed the warning. They'd press the accelerator, eyes darting to the rearview mirror, seeing only empty blacktop or the distant glow of their own taillights reflected in the darkness. They'd drive until the signal faded and their regular radio programming returned, often miles down the road, shaken but safe. The voice became a dark secret of the route, a story traded at dusty roadside diners over bad coffee. Then came the night of October 31st, 1997. A long-haul trucker named Sam Henderson, carrying a load of auto parts from Flagstaff, experienced the phenomenon. According to his later fragmented CB radio transmission to another driver, he heard the voice. But Sam was a pragmatic man, weary from the road. Convinced the eerie broadcast was a prank and worried a sudden tire thump might be a real blowout, he made a fatal decision. He told his fellow driver, "I'm just pulling over to check the treads. This spooky nonsense ain't for me." He guided his 18-wheeler onto the gravel shoulder. That was the last anyone heard from Sam Henderson. At first light, a state trooper on a routine patrol found Sam Henderson's rig. The scene was deeply wrong. The massive diesel engine was still faintly warm, ticking as it cooled in the desert dawn. Both the driver's side door and the passenger door were swung wide open, as if Sam had exited quickly and then something or someone had entered from the other side. His logbook, coffee thermos, and a half-eaten sandwich were neatly placed on the seat. His keys were in the ignition, but Sam was gone. A massive search ensued. Trackers with dogs, helicopters, and volunteers on foot scoured the surrounding desert. They found nothing. No footprints leading away from the highway, no sign of a struggle, no personal items dropped in flight. It was as if Sam Henderson had been plucked from his cabin into the thin desert air. The only clue was an odd detail in the police report. The truck's radio was on, the volume low, tuned to dead air at 98.7 FM. The sheriff, now deeply alarmed, requested help from the Federal Communications Commission. If a pirate signal was hijacking radios and causing disappearances, it needed to be found and shut down. Technicians arrived with direction-finding equipment. They interviewed witnesses, mapped the locations where drivers reported hearing the voice, and spent nights in vans full of humming gear on the empty highway. What they discovered made no sense. The signal was powerful and localized, but it didn't originate from any broadcast tower, legal or otherwise. The triangulation led them to a specific point just off the shoulder of Route 66, a barren patch of scrub and cracked earth. After searching the area, one technician unearthed a fragment of weathered concrete and a rusted bolt. County records provided the chilling answer. That exact spot was where an old emergency call box, a direct line to the highway patrol, had been installed in 1959. It had been removed for decommissioning in 1982, 15 years earlier. The foundation was all that remained. The signal, according to their instruments, was broadcasting from that empty spot. With the investigation at a dead end, the stretch of highway was officially closed for indefinite repairs. But one county records clerk,
digging deeper into the history of the old emergency phone system, uncovered a final, devastating piece of the puzzle. The decommissioned system's master call log, stored on a decaying magnetic tape in a state archive, had one last entry. The log showed a final call placed from that removed phone booth. The timestamp was 2:17 a.m. on November 1st, 1997, approximately 4 hours after Sam Henderson vanished. The call duration was listed as 12 seconds. The destination was the Seligman Sheriff's Office switchboard, and in the field for caller ID, where the old system would sometimes capture a vehicle description from a driver's license plate scan, the entry read, "Unknown driver." The implications were paralyzing. Something had used the defunct infrastructure of the phone booth to broadcast its warning. And then, after Sam Henderson was taken, something or someone had placed a call from that non-existent location, identifying itself with the hauntingly generic label of unknown driver. Was it a plea? A taunt? A record of a new entity registering itself on the system? The official case was filed under missing persons presumed foul play and went cold. But on Route 66, the story didn't die. It hardened into a local commandment. Old-timers in Seligman and Kingman warned travelers to keep their tanks full and their curiosity in check. The advice is always the same. If you're on that lonely stretch at night and your radio suddenly dies, don't search for another station. Don't pull over to investigate. Just listen. If you hear her, you listen to her. Don't stop. He's behind you. Your only job is to drive. Don't wonder who she is. Don't try to see him in your mirror. Just press the gas until the lights of the next town wash over you, and pray your engine doesn't fail.
To this day, the vanishing of Sam Henderson and the origin of the radio voice remain unsolved. The highway has never fully reopened. That section is now a bypassed ghost road, its asphalt slowly crumbling under the sun. But the mystery feeds endless speculation. Researchers of the paranormal have woven several compelling, terrifying theories. Some believe the voice is a residual echo, a psychic impression from a long-ago tragedy. Perhaps a woman who was pursued and killed on that stretch, her final warning forever trapped in the electromagnetic fabric of the place, bleeding through on specific frequencies. Others propose a more interactive haunt. They suggest she is a conscious entity, a guardian spirit aware of a present active predator, him who stalks that corridor. Her warning is a desperate attempt to protect the living from a malevolent force that manifests under specific conditions. The removed phone booth, they argue, wasn't the source, but a conduit, a thin spot between worlds that both she and he can use. The most unsettling theory concerns Sam Henderson himself and the unknown driver call log. Some whisper that the man who didn't listen became, in his final moments, the very thing he was warned about, that he is not a fixed being, but a role that passes to the victim. The call after his disappearance was his first transmission from the other side, now forever tied to the booth, a new driver on an endless, dark road. The cycle continues, with the woman's voice trying to save others from the last person who failed. The official line remains one of rational skepticism, a combination of radio interference, coincidence, and an unrelated crime. But every few years, a report surfaces from a brave or foolish urban explorer who ventures onto the closed section. They sometimes speak of cold spots, of a feeling of being watched, and of their portable radios, even without power, sometimes crackling to life with the sound of a woman, whispering not just a warning, but sometimes a new, more desperate phrase. "He's closer now. Please, drive faster."